the goal of the show really is to help us understand the trust in our lives, and being that we're being pushed to the limit in our perceptions around the impacts of AI and the future of AGI.
I trust my family's life in an autonomous car next to a wall going 80 miles an
I'm
hour. In 5 years, there's a good chance you and I have a robot in our house. It's like everything I took a picture of, it could tell me where I was standing, what I was looking at, all sorts of things. It's like, whoa, people. This is what I'm saying. When you get a humanoid robot, it's going to know everything in your house. And you're going to go, how does it know every brand in your house? You put your finger on an iPhone camera and it tells you your blood pressure. I just was at Somnium Space in Prague, and they have a VR headset that's 140-degree field of view. So twice as much field of view, and you're really immersed. Like if
Yeah.
you're flying a flight simulator in that, it's really immersive and really messes with with your mind into thinking that you're inside a real plane flying around. Yeah,
The yeah.
every night or two, I'm on Twitter or an X space, an audio space, talking to people from around the world about this new world coming at us. And yeah, we can talk for hours, many hours. There's so much demand for using it in labor. Kind of, my brother wants to buy 3 of them. He owns a bar. He owns 2 bars in Virginia. And he's like, I'd buy a couple of those right away and I'd pay $100,000 for them. If it gets that good where it could wash dishes or load up a beer keg or do menial things, it really can be useful in a business like that. And it's cheaper than hiring another employee for 20 bucks an hour. Why are you parking a car in a parking garage and paying 35 bucks a day for the parking garage when it could just turn around and go park at home?
Yeah.
You
You
could you could send your car to pick up a family member,
Right,
or you
right.
go over and pick up your best friend and bring your best friend over the house. There's no human in the car. It's
Yeah.
already here, right? So it's not just Tesla doing this. There's Zoox and Waymo and
Mhm.
Cruise from General Motors, which just made a deal with Uber just yesterday. They announced that they're going to supply autonomous cars to the Uber network.
Yep.
This humanoid robot can do all sorts of things, from teaching you to dance to washing your dishes.
Yeah,
A Tesla goes across the Golden Gate Bridge every 3 seconds. Nobody
yeah.
else does. Nobody else has an AI computer going across the Golden Gate Bridge at that kind of quantity.
Right.
And you'll see all these Teslas all of a sudden just changing lanes to lane 1, and you'll be like, "What the hell is going on?" And then a mile later, you'll see a truck on fire, and you're like, "How did they all know that there's a truck on fire in lane 3?" Yeah, you can embody yourself in a robot, right?
Mhm.
If you have a humanoid robot and you have Vision Pro or something like that, you can actually put yourself into the robot and walk around as a robot. Imagine that thing hitting you. That's gonna hurt, and
Yeah.
you're not gonna hurt it. In China, they have completely automated car factories, no humans, supposedly. Well, the humanoid robot can do that drungy work of moving the specialized robot around the glass and clean all your
Right.
glass, and it'll charge you 40 bucks to clean all the glass in your house.
These humanized robots could replace nurses. They could replace surgeons at some point. They could replace doctors entirely, you know?
Someday, because who wants a human being to come in your room and see you naked and, right, and move you around?
If I was a warehouse worker in an Amazon warehouse, I would be a little concerned about my future job.
What do we do with that truck driver? They were making 80 grand, 80 to $120,000 a year, and all of a sudden they're not able to feed their family. We need to figure out, how do we have a guaranteed minimum income for that person, that they just sit at home and collect a paycheck?
I am a little bit worried that this transition to this new kind of world that we're coming into of, I hate to say, but surveillance and data gathering and
Yeah.
aggregation of data to kind of fuel the data that's needed for these robots and the technological innovations that we're right on the cusp of. That's going to cause a lot of people to have a lot of change anxiety. I can see a day when one person, one human owns, let's say, 1,000 robots, and they can build a company.
If an Optimus makes another Optimus, who's gonna own the new Optimus? You're gonna fall in love with the robot in the other places, because it's gonna make your grandma's favorite recipe for you
Right,
whenever you want, or clean your
right.
toilets, or play chess with you. right? I know people are going to fall in love with a robot, even if they leave sex off the table, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't he send his first mission of autonomous robots to the Mars, not humans?
You're going to live underground if we get there. But you're right. Why not send the robots to set up the tunnels and build some homes and build some sort of thing that would support human life before we get up there?
Yeah.
By the time it gets the stop command, it's already over the cliff. A lot of the humans are going to be down on Earth building things in simulators and testing them out
Mhm.
long before you build them in physical. Even if you send a whole bunch of robots, you're going to do that in a simulator first to train all the robots. Are you going to trust your family's life to melted sand?
I don't know, right?
Yes, but you have a Tesla. I trust it all the time. Next to the wall, going 85 miles an hour. It
Yeah.
knows how to drive locally without talking to the cloud computing. It can drive without being connected. They know when people get like 3 days worth of rides in an autonomous car, they change as consumers. They change their trust of computers.
Mm.
Once somebody lets their Tesla drive them around town and go through stoplights and stuff like that without touching the car, don't you become much more accepting of like automatic shopping in your kitchen?
YouTube is planning on translating all of the content on their platform into all the languages of the world and syncing that audio change to our lips and our videos, right?
Yeah.
To make them align with each other.
It's billions of dollars worth of taxpayer money, and a kid is driving it. Well,
Mhm.
the kid had to learn to drive it,
Yeah.
right? The 18-year-old had to learn, had to go to class and understand how to do it. Right?
So
Well, now with glasses on in a simulator, I can teach that kid how to do it much faster than with a book.
I think I saw a news story somewhere that was talking about that China was creating soldier robots.
You can't destroy them with a hammer. You can't cut them. It's gonna whack you.
Yeah,
Right? And if there's 1,000 of them marching down your street, you're not gonna put up much resistance to them. If that robot's allowed to kill people on the street, who's in charge? Who's accountable?
right. Especially
That's
if they're autonomous, right?
That's really a new problem. The real thing is we never fight the next war. We're really good about fighting the last war. We didn't
Um,
plan on that as a war. Oh, you mean there's going to be an adversary that's going to have a lot of little cheap ass drones and they're going to blow shit up? Oh my God, how do we
well,
stop that?
yeah, if somebody starts something like that, it's almost like they're committing suicide, really, in some
Yeah,
ways.
we're flying at night and I can see you. You can't see me. I'm stealth. You're not. Start with that, right? And then he said, I can stop in midair and you can't stop.
As we look to the future, I know that there's some predictions out there
Yeah.
about when robots are going to become shift into a humanoid like experience, because most of the robots in
Next
our
year.
life, okay, it's coming up next year is when we'll see
See
actual
something released.
purchasable humanoid robots.
Is it good? Eh, you and I both worked at Microsoft. Was version 1 ever good? No.
No, no,
It's always
no.
version 3 that's good. They have more data than anybody else. They have better infrastructure for building AI technology. They have a better simulator than anybody else. They have more data. Start with more data wins, right?
Right.
As long as everything else is equal. I met a guy who builds nuclear bombs at Lawrence Livermore Labs, and I said, "What's your job like?" And he's like, "I build something I hope never gets used, and I have to prove to the president that it works
Yeah.
in a simulator."
Hmm.
Right? Your
Right.
car will be if there's a fire on the Golden Gate Bridge and your Tesla goes by the fire and it ingested the video off the cameras and made a Gaussian splatter, a neural radiance field, which is a new 3D scene, and it puts it on x.com into the fire feed, right?
Yeah. You have this kind of tension between authenticity and too much of a robotic type of consumption experience.
A car can be like, oh, a truck just started on fire, right? Another one goes by, oh, it's burning good. Another one goes by, It's burning real good. And it keeps updating the Gaussian splat so people can watch it at home burning.
It it it's already getting to a point where the video and the audio are almost indistinguishable from
Oh,
human
yeah.
experiences.
Uh,
We're already there. I can imagine what it's gonna be a year or 2 years from now.
you're human, and so you have a warmth to you, right? A little randomness, a little weirdness, right? We're
Mhm.
biological, and the
Yeah,
computer
right.
is gonna be cold. How does an AI get more human-like over time, right?
Yeah,
Detail, belief system, soul, a digital soul. I know a guy who's building digital souls for robots. Funny.
right.
I saw an accident on a 2-lane road, and by the time I got up to the accident, the phone screen started turning red, right? Because people were backed up behind the accident and slowing down and stopping. Oh, you're getting real-time data from Verizon cell phones that it knows the Verizon cell phone is stopping on a road, so it turns the road red? Yeah, that's what we do. I made a database of 5,400 AI companies, right? So I could have some idea of what's happening in this industry and what I should be. In one screen, I can watch the whole entire world go by. If you're not using X Pro and lists, you're missing out. Every technology is like that. A database could be used to catalog people in a concentration camp, but
Yeah.
it could also be used to find cancer, right? So it has a good and a bad, and humans have to figure out how do we do more of the good and less of the bad. It's
Moving.
freaky time. A humanoid robot with cameras. You're going to have it in your house at someday. Maybe it takes 10 years, but you're going to have a robot like that. Wait until you got a robot with that can move things around your house and see everything and catalog everything and track everything in your house. You can join the Amish. There's 30,000 people who don't have computers and
This
maybe have a
this
little phone, but you know.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level of cut the cord.
What do you mean a robot's gonna come in my house and watch me naked?
Right.
No way. Not in my house. I have a feeling it's not going to give you an error on anything you ask it to do because the Stanford robots know how to do thousands of tasks, right? It's not just wash dishes. It's like know how to do anything a human being wants to ask it. Heck,
Yeah,
you
I
can
think
go garden, weed the garden, bring me a Diet Coke, wash my clothes, iron my
right.
clothes, clean the toilet. I saw a robot clean up a mess on a table and it was janky. It wasn't real smooth about it or confident about it like a
Yeah,
human would be, right?
yeah.
But,
Over
you
time,
know,
it gets better. Elon may be coming into a pickle here because the cars are not capable of being upgraded to hardware 4 or coming hardware 5 capabilities unless they
yeah,
somehow figure it out,
yeah,
which
that's a lot of trust to give a piece of melted sand.
yeah, I've
Right?
had
And
to
so after a few of those kinds of situations, you learn, oh no, we better go with what the computer's saying. The
mhm,
computer's better than us. It has more data about what's going on. My friend who runs an insurance company has a map of every street in America, how safe the street is. I don't know. I didn't know that until I had a friend who worked in the insurance business. But every street is different safety rating.
yeah,
It has a different accident level, a different consequence for driving down the street. The humans are actually getting worse at driving
right.
because because
Because
of
of
mobile phone.
full
Yeah,
self-driving,
yeah,
right,
because we're
right,
all staring at our cell
right.
phone. An autonomous car won't do that. My car never hits somebody in front of it.
Yeah, and Elon's been saying for years that this robotic technology, the autonomous stuff is gonna change the economy. It's gonna make
Yeah.
uh, the cost of labor basically almost go to 0.
I've had kids barf in my Tesla. By the way, they clean up pretty good. Even the white seats. Starbucks is actually shitty coffee. It's not the coffee that sells it. It's the consistency.
Right.
Because humans can get used to shitty in 10 years when you get into Vegas and you need a ride to take you to the hotel or to the convention center or something like that. Which one do you choose to use? Do you order a Waymo or a Zoox or a GM Cruise, which is
Mhm.
Uber, or do you get a Tesla? Always the machine's watching you.
Oh, yeah.
It knows how many
Believe
times
me.
you pick your nose. It's going to be in a dangerous state where it's making a lot less mistakes than it used to, and therefore humans are going to change their behavior of using the vehicle and start sleeping in the vehicle or looking at their phone more often or something like that, right? And then it makes a stupid ass mistake and kills you, and that's a problem. You have to get involved early. The earlier you get involved, the more you'll understand how to control the machine,
Right.
how to talk to it, how to get it to do things. The last one to get fired is a person who knows how to use AI, because they're going to be more productive. If you're a programmer and you're using AI, you're twice as productive as a human who doesn't use AI already today. And there's a whole bunch of companies who are trying to fix that problem. I just interviewed
Oh,
one
you did?
yesterday. Yeah, they're building a system for enterprises that learns iteratively and refine tunes the business model that you're building, so it gets better and better and reduces hallucinations over time. If you want to know who has the best models, look at who has the NVIDIA cards. your
Right.
your non-playable characters are going to get pretty smart pretty soon. You're going to have conversations with them before you shoot them. Wait until there's a new kind of paintball game or something in your neighborhood.
Right.
You're wearing
Yeah.
the glasses and all sorts of mayhem is happening virtually out in the street. The other thing, like this M1 processor I'm talking to you on,
Yeah.
so I'm talking to you on an iMac,
Mhm.
21% of that processor is for neural, is for AI inferencing.
Oh,
Most people haven't even used that part of the chip yet. What happens when it's volumetric pixels and there is no screen? You're in my room. If you're in
right,
Germany on a business trip
right.
and you have a humanoid robot in your kitchen, you could jump into your robot and now you're really in your kitchen. If you're in the front row of a Taylor Swift concert,
And you
share
can
them.
share that. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
share that.
share your
Right.
glasses with me, man. Come on. Don't hold out Taylor Swift on me. If there's a front row at the Taylor Swift concert and everybody is wearing Apple glasses, or Apple, some are wearing Apple, some are wearing Meta glasses, you can embody yourself in any of those people, right? People are going to pay for all sorts of weird shit. "Oh, I'd like to watch a guy run a sewage treatment plant today. Oh, that's $20. Are you recording me? I'm like, fuck no, takes too much battery to record you, and you're not interesting enough to record yet.
Okay.
There's a whole contingent of human beings who see a camera and they start performing for it.
Right.
It's just innately. It's like, oh, there's a camera. Let's start doing something goofy.
Yeah, right. Create a TikTok.
Bingo. If it's more convenient to give the man the data, you're going to give the man the data. He knows when you've been naughty or nice, and he's
Yeah,
keeping a list. It's
and
there you
checking
go.
it all the time. Right,
All
yeah,
the time. Coca-Cola is going to
yeah,
have all your naughties. If you're a business and you have a whole bunch of plans for your next product,
yeah.
do you want to give that to Chat GPT? I would think twice, right?
Right,
They ingested.
exactly.
That's why it knows me. It ingested my blog for 10 years. It stole it to make the model, right?
Yeah,
They didn't pay me. I didn't get a paycheck in the mail for this. X.AI just changed Twitter's terms of service so that they can use all of your data unless you change it back to say, no, you can't, right? And
yeah.
most people don't even know that.
I'm gonna
It'll be interesting to see how many people give this show to their AI. It's like 2.5 hours. Hey, watch the 2.5 hour show and tell me if there's anything interesting in it. Right?